It's Saturday, May 7th, 2022. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Hey, guys and gals, peeps of all ages and the vinyl community and beyond. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. It is time for another week of goofy news and pickups and all that stuff. And it's going to be an interesting day. Got lots of interesting stuff going on. It might be a longer show than usual because I have a bunch of, out of the box is going to be huge this week. And I have a few other things to discuss. So let's get into it right now with this week's cover story. Did you guys know it's Hanson week? Or it will be tomorrow. Got my boy's shirt on. Hanson week is always celebrated. Usually the second week in May. And Hanson Day is actually celebrated May 12th to the 14th. It is an annual celebration for what was only a one-day thing. 25 years ago this year, when Hanson was first declared Hanson Day in Tulsa by the mayor back then in 1997 when the album Middle of Nowhere came out. Hanson fans use this week to discuss and talk all about their music, and I am one of them. Have my boys' shirts on. They have a new album coming out later this month called Red, Green, Blue. Can't wait to see that. I've heard parts of it already. There have been some great stuff coming up. Of course, Hanson Day is an annual trek for most Hanson fans. I've not made it to Tulsa for it yet, but hundreds of people do, mostly ladies, but there are a few guys like myself. And of course, it's all started yesterday. Officially was the official date that it was actually proclaimed for. Back in 1997, I believe. And all this week, they'll be having all kinds of festivities, including the listening party for the new album. And, they have their bowling tournament. They have the concerts. They have all kinds of stuff. So if you're in Tulsa, my heart's with you. I'm with you in spirit this week. This week, it couldn't be worse because it's right off, going right up against Eurovision, which I'm also devoted to. So it's kind of nuts. But it is a celebration of a great artists and artists that so many people don't really understand or know a lot about. So I'm going to fix that. Next week's influencers will be the one I've been waiting for this week, holding it for that. Hanson will be the subject of influencers on Tuesday. It is going to be a long show. I will tell you that. I have all their albums and all of their club stuff to talk about, so it could be the longest influencers I've done, and it is going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you will join me to help celebrate Hanson Week and Hanson Day with the Kirkham Report like he does every year, and that is this week's cover story. I know everyone's waiting with bated breath for this, right? Right? My record store day purchases are here. Now, I do all my record store day stuff mail order. I do not go to the stores simply because I want to keep safe. And my doctor, still wants me to stay clear of places that are large crowds gathering, and record store day is a large crowd gathering. So I did it all mail order. I chose not to get three things that I felt the price point was too high on. that were on my want list. One of those was the Tiny Tim. I'm still thinking about that one though, because it's still got quite a few out there, and the more I read about it, maybe it's sort of worth the $45, $50 price point. I don't know, but I do not approve of the $46.99 for Sheena Easton's 12-inch collection, which I'd like to have, but I think that's a bit expensive. And the Elton John, I know a lot of people love, but that works out to $5 a song. You know, that's 3 times as much as you pay for a single. I'm just don't see any need to do either one of those, and I told you that anyway. I missed out on 2 things that I wanted on my list, and I wasn't surprised. They both turned out to be very popular. The Sarah Bareilles, Little Voice, and Rick Astley, Whenever You Need Somebody. I missed out on those 2, but I wasn't terribly upset because I have both of them on CD. So I'm fine with that. What I did get is I got all my other picks, and so there's quite a stack here. I think there's 13 total. And I bought most of them from Newberry Comics, which I usually deal with. They're my local indie record store chain up here in the Boston area. But I did buy one of these from my pal Adam at Record Crate, and also a couple more from another indie seller, Park Avenue CDs in Orlando, where I frequently find the stuff I can't find anywhere else. So those 3 places, thank you very much for being my Record Store Day supplier. So let me show you what I got. Start off with the 45, or the 7-inch. This is the Vince Guaraldi baseball theme from the Charlie Brown collection that they've been putting out. Craft Records. Great records. Terrible mail order. Top-notch stuff. It is on white vinyl. Let me turn it around here. Yes, it doesn't take that long. White vinyl. The label is so... you can't read it. Fantasy, you have to like really bend it or get it in the light to see what it says. And the writing is, I mean, who thought of brown writing on a maroon label? I like to smack them, because that's just like ridiculous, especially for people who have trouble with certain colors like I do anymore. And now I can't get the record sleeve open. It's late, okay? And I worked a full day, a full week, and I have next week off for Eurovision. I'll put that back up here where it's out of the way. And the albums. The 2 that were on the top of my list, I got both of those. And it took me a little time to find one of them. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. And that is this one, America, Rarities and Alternates and Rarities. And this has the different versions of some of their biggest hits on it from the 70s, 71 to 75. It comes with this fantastic inner sleeve with great shots of the band from back then. And it is on, they're calling this soap sud green vinyl. It looks pretty much just like transparent vinyl to me, but it does have a green tint. Of course, that classic Warner Brothers label is on there. But I can't, I have not spun any of these. I have not had time this week. It has been a bear. That's what next week is for. I can't wait to hear this. I've been an America fan since I was a tiny kid. Since A Horse with No Name came out, I was like 7. Been a huge fan of theirs, and this is definitely was on the top of my list. The other one that was on the top of my list, I already have the OG of, but I wanted it because I love the album, number 1, and number 2, it's on yellow vinyl as a tribute to their original label. That is the 1977 debut album from the Rubinoos. Do you guys actually not know who the Rubinoos are? I have had people ask me, who the hell are the Rubinoos? Really? They were power pop at its finest in the late 70s, and I've picked up a few of their things. I have all the albums, and I bought the CBS tapes when it came out last year. This is on transparent yellow vinyl, and that label, although it is Yep Rock, is the black color that Berserkly Records had. Of course, Berserkly Records had a black and yellow tone on their label. This is a great album if you've never heard it. The original OG is great, and this is the same album, but it's just 180 gram colored vinyl. I'm very happy to have that one. That was those were the two that I was worried about missing out on. The rest of these are all picks that I was interested in and I wanted to hear and thought they'd be fun, and so I ended up getting them all. Mike Oldfield, Tubular Bells 2. This is, I believe, is this on clear vinyl too? I'm trying to remember. It's on blue vinyl. There you go. And I've only heard this on digital. I've never had the album, never had the CD. I have the original, of course, but not that one. Picked this up from Adam at Record Crate, Jackson 5 and ABC. The great issue of this on transparent blue vinyl. Again, I wish they had a picture sleeve on the inside, but, oh no, this isn't transparent, this is solid blue. Motown label recreation, 180 gram. Really going to be terrific because this was their breakthrough album and just really something. The soundtrack from Strange Behavior. This, I'm not really familiar with the movie. I've heard of it, but I don't do horror, so I haven't seen it. This is, of course, the awesome Tangerine Dream. I have a ton of their stuff. I love them. Again, this one is... Now, I thought this was a double album, but it's not. It's just a gatefold. For the price point, it's a little expensive. I may have thought differently if I'd known that. On this kind of yellow vinyl with the custom label there. But it's Tangerine Dream, so it's going to be worth it, because I have never not liked anything I've ever bought by them. So, very cool. Anybody from the 80s remembers these guys, and this is the mixes that were available only on cassette, if I understand properly, in the 80s. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, altered reels. One side is all relax mixes, the other side all Two Tribes mixes. Those were the two only hits they had in the States. They were all over MTV, of course, at the time. Great inner sleeve. And this was standard black vinyl. Get the album out of there. With the typical Frankie Goes to Hollywood type label. People are going to be surprised I picked this up, but the truth is, I've loved these guys. Love this album. I've never heard the later stuff, but I love this. A friend of mine had it when I was a kid, and I like the lead singer. I've been a big fan of for years. This is Detective. Detective, of course, led by Michael DeBarge, whose wife at the time went on to be the royal tell-all of the 1980s in all that she did. This is a great album, and it's power on silver vinyl. Power pop with a punk bent, I guess would be the best way to describe it. I've always loved this album, and I'm very glad to have it in my collection. Love the fact that they recreated the label and everything on this, and I get the feeling this is going to be a series, so that would be cool. Record store date issue of Van McCoy, The Hustle, from on the recreated Avco Records label, because Avco has been out of business for years. Of course, one of the seminal songs of the disco era. This is the only one I have not opened, and I freely admit this was a purchase I made because I do like them, but I'm not sure I'm going to open it because a lot of people are still looking for it. Alice in Chains and We Die Young. I may open this. I do. Of all the grunge acts that came out of Seattle, Alice in Chains is the only one other than Nirvana that I can even remotely stand. I am not a Pearl Jam fan. I am not a Stone Temple Pilots fan. Alice in Chains, I grew to love a lot of their music thanks to Extreme Championship Wrestling in the 1990s. And Nirvana is just awesome anyway. But the grunge sound is not me. This was the first single. It's a reissue of that first EP that came out, I believe, in 92 originally. And a lot of people are still looking for it, 1990. So I'm going to keep it sealed, and I may eventually part with it. If not, I'll let you know. This this is an album by an act that I like, but I don't love. That sounds strange that I would buy it, but I've noted on several occasions I collect actors who are involved in music, and this is very much qualifies. This is the singles collection from the Wallows, led by actor Dylan Minnette. Dylan is the one on the left side driving the vehicle. And I like several of their songs. This is on blue vinyl again. And it's not that I don't like them, but I haven't liked everything they've done. But I do like Dylan as an actor, and so it goes into that collection. I was really worried I wouldn't get this because I know it was very limited, and 3,500 copies, and I was convinced it was going to just be no chance in hell. I got it. Darling Love, The Many Sides of Love, the complete reprise recordings plus. I wish there was a larger set out there, but this has got the early stuff that she did for Reprise Records, and I'm only familiar with 3 or 4 of these songs, but I tell you something, it's Darlene Love, okay? It's Darlene Love. She is awesome. Enough said. Same goes for this. I wasn't sure about this, but I love the song that she did and this album. And it also came with this great... Oh, sorry. The Darlene Love was teal. I didn't get it out to show you. It has the classic Reprise label. And has a transparent teal color, which is really very cool. I love this, and I love the extensive liner notes that she wrote for this release. And I think she's great, and I've heard other songs by her, but I've not heard the original album except for the single. Everybody knows the single. This is Jeannie C. Riley and Harper Valley PTA. This has a great... she wrote this last year, a great story of how Harper Valley came to be in 1967, before any of them became big stars, and how this all turned them all into household names. Herself and some of the players, and Tom T. Hall, who wrote it. And we just lost him last year, or 2020, I forget which. And finally, again, this is going to be interesting because there's a later, a bigger one coming that I can't wait to get a hold of either. But I'm really, really interested in hearing this because I love her and I love what she does. She's taken seriously now. Back in the early days, she wasn't. And now she is considered one of the deans of rock. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts and Acoustics. This has 8 acoustic songs. The best known of them on here, if you're a singles person, is I Hate Myself for Loving You. But there is some great, great stuff on here. And I have listened to this actually online already because I love this stuff. That is the majority of the Record Store Day stuff. That's all of it, actually. I haven't ordered anything else, and I will keep you informed as to whether or not I ordered the Tiny Tim or not. Back in a mo. I just realized as I was putting those down, I dropped the download card from the Rubinoos. So, and yes, I already downloaded it because I love to have that album where I can listen to it on digital. I had a few things come in from Record Crate this week also. Haven't been buying a lot from Record Crate because I've been kind of saving for Record Store Day and also saving space until I get everything finished up here. But I have a few more purchases coming over the next few weeks. This is another in the RCA Special Radio Series. I've purchased 1 or 2 of these already. This is the interview with LaRue. At the time Nobody Said It Was Easy was out. What can I say? I love the stuff, and I love him. The best of Burt Kempfert. All kinds of great stuff from his main career in the 60s and 70s. This is a 1977 issue of his album. Growing my John Denver collection lately. This is Spirit from 1976, I believe. Might be 77. Nope, 76. This features Like a Sad Song, which was the last big hit he had on the pop chart, and it wasn't that big. He had a couple more later, but they didn't get that high. Also has Baby You Look Good to Me Tonight, and I'm really glad I picked it up because I didn't realize Starline Vocal Band is on 2 songs with him on this album, which makes sense because Wind Song, now Wind Star, is the album, is the label they were signed to, and John was the owner. Of course, they were also on Cape Me Ho Comfy Roads as Fat City, Bill and Taffy Danoff were. Sven Liebeck, more beautiful music, the music of Lionel Richie, instrumentally. And a classic album, whoops, I showed that last week. Classic album from, I have always wondered why he never took off the way I thought he would. I have the 2 singles off this album. I've always wanted the album. It's in terrific shape, and I can't wait to hear it. Nick Gilder and City Nights. This, of course, features Hot Child in the City, and I believe the follow-up is on here too. Here Comes the Night. Yep. Nick, Hot Child in the City was hot in the late summer of '78, and never bought the album, but I have both the singles, and I think he deserved better than he got, and I really don't really know that much about what I did later, but I love those songs. I'm actually quite excited to add this to my collection. I found out about this about 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh wow, I want that. So I pre-ordered it. It arrived on release day yesterday, and this is the kind of thing that my friend Steve Schnee over at CD Junkie is going to love, because he loves stuff like this. A lot of people don't really realize that he did enough stuff to do a box set like this, and he deserved better attention than he got, because he's a truly magnificent performer, an excellent songwriter. I mean, he really is, and I wish people had paid more attention to him. This is The Complete Future, the albums 1991 to 2012 from Chesney Hawkes. This was released yesterday. It features all 4 of Chesney's original albums in their British release form. It comes with all these great stuff, plus a couple of extras. There's this great book written completely by Chesney that talks about his career, his albums and such, with photos and everything. It comes with his 4 albums. These are the UK issue albums. Buddy's Song, which in this country was released as the one and only. And I think there's some bonus tracks on each album. His second album, Get the Picture, which came out in Europe, I believe, in 1993 or 94. The other 3 albums were never completely released in the States except as digital releases. Another Fine Mess from 2002, I believe, which features my favorite song by him, a beautiful heartbreak love ballad called Almost You. Love this song. And I'm so happy to have this in my collection. And that, isn't that on here? Yeah, there it is. And the most recent of these, the 2012 release, Real Life Love. I have not heard most of this, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. There's also a CD of rarities. These are remixes and outtakes and such from the 4 albums and other television appearances and such. And a DVD, Chesney Hawkes, The Complete Picture, the videos, 1991 to 2012. And this features the videos for the one and only I'm a Man Not a Boy, Secrets of the Heart, Feel So Alive, What's Wrong with This Picture, Missing You Already, Stay Away Baby Jane, Another Fine Mess, Caught Up in Circles, and Aeroplane, plus bonus clips from different television shows and some live performances from way back in 1991 from Mannheim, Germany. So this has been great, and Chrysalis Records should be commended for releasing this in the States as well as overseas. Chesney never got the due he was really should have been afforded. Everybody heard the one and only off this. This is the first album, and kind of wrote him out as a one-hit wonder when he really was anything but. I played this CD so much back then when I was working third shift at a convenience store just to make ends meet. Used to bring my CD player, and that one, and Katie Lang, and Bon Jovi's Blaze of Glory got tons of airplay from me while I was in that store. Check it out. If you've not heard it, definitely look for it online or pick it up. Chesney Hawkes, The Complete Picture, the albums 1991 to 2012. So a couple weeks ago, I showed you some of the new stuff I picked up from Record Research, and one of the books was back-ordered at the time. It is now here. It is the second volume of the Billboard Hot 100 charts I wrote. I wrote. I wrote? I ordered. This is for the 2000s. It runs from January 1st of 2000 to December 31st, 2009. And I got this so I could finish my missing years project. And I'm looking through this book. And I'm really starting to get depressed because 9 times out of 10, I'll turn to a page. There was a time in the 70s and 80s and since 2010 where I would know most of the songs on the Hot 100. I can turn to any given page in this book in the 2000s and I'll know maybe 5 songs. I stopped listening to music except what I liked. I stopped listening to popular radio. I stopped listening to MTV because it was no music anymore. And I was no longer working in the music industry. So from 2000 to 2009 or 2010, actually, I was kind of disconnected from pop music, except what I heard on the radio played by lady that played it at work or in the car when we were running around with friends or whatever. So I knew some of the songs from the mid 2000s. You know, you couldn't get away from Call Me Maybe, or You're Beautiful, or Crazy, Sexy Back, which I'd like to throw out a window. But I'm looking at these charts and I'm realizing, dear God, I don't know 90% of the songs on each chart. That's pretty bad for a pop collector like me. That I've lost touch that much in the 2000s. I just opened it up to. Let me see what week I opened it up to. October 4th, 2005, and of the top 10. I may have heard them. I don't know. The top 10 that week were Beverly Hills by Weezer. I do know that one. Don't Ya by the Pussycat Dolls. I know that one. Play by David Banner? Really? I have no idea what that is. Wake Me Up When September Ends, Green Day. I know that one. We Belong Together, Mariah Carey. I know that one. My Humps, Black Eyed Peas. Yeah. Photograph by Nickelback in the top 4. Wow, that's scary. Like You by Bow Wow featuring Ciara, Shake It Off by Mariah Carey, and Gold Digger by Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx. So I know most of the top 10. When I get into these other ones, like Kelly Clarkson was just having some big hits here, and I know some of the people, the Killers. Kim's a big fan of the Killers. I know, the artists. And there's artists whose songs I might know. Josh Grayson, who was on American Idol that first year, or second year. I forget which year he was on there. I have kind of kept track of him. I know some of these, but by far, most of these songs, I don't know. That's really terrifying to me. I have to start rectifying that. So anyway, this is the second of the 2 chart books I bought. Billboard Hot 100 charts, the 2000s. They're just literally photocopies of the chart from each magazine. They even have the little news story at the bottom. And but it is a complete week-by-week record of the Hot 100. And I'm going to go back and get the 70s and 80s eventually, but I got the 90s and 2000s first to help me with the Missing Years project. And I'm gonna have I needed a lot of help in the 2000s because I was listening to, I was listening to Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and that stuff. Hanson, of course, my boys. But I knew a few of the singles. I knew people from American Idol. I became a big fan of some of them, like Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard and Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood, Bo Bice, Taylor, what's his name? Taylor Hicks. I knew I'd think of it eventually. Um, but I really don't know the music until we get to the end of 2009 when Owl City's Fireflies debuts. From that point on, I'm back in and I know stuff. So I just want to let you know it did arrive and it's now in my collection. Guess what's next? It's 45s from Don and Mary. Set of 20 this time. I didn't get a whole lot. Some of these I have, some of them I don't. One of them I don't want. But, you know, as I was telling her the other day after I purchased it, I'm like, I should have wrote to you and said, just throw something else in. But now I have 2 copies for target practice. Celebration from Kool and the Gang on D-Lite. Shake Your Love, Debbie Gibson. And what looks like an instrumental version on the back, I can't tell. Classic from Hollies, the Hollies, Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress. And look what we've got on the back. I do not know this one, but I'm always interested in finding out new stuff. It is on the Westbound label, which there's no... The only thing I had before I got stuff from Don and Mary on Westbound was Byron McGregor's re-recording of Gordon Sinclair's The Americans. So there you go. Devil's Gun and Free to Be Me by CJ and Company. And this was after, from the look of it, Atlantic was distributing it at this time. Because it has the WEA logo in there. Another one I'm not familiar with, The World is Going to Be a Better Place and A Million Hearts from a band called Friendship. This is a promo. I don't know who this is. I'm going to have to do some research on that. I don't see the yellow Big Tree labels very often, so that's early. 70, 71. Ray Stevens, Everything is Beautiful. This appears to be a promo also. It has a hole punch. And A Brighter Day on the original Barnaby label. There were 3 or 4 of them that came along in the 70s. Maggie May, classic from Rod Stewart. Also, I Know I'm Losing You. That's on the Celebrity series, so that's a reissue, definitely. Also, on Radioactive Gold, I'm appalled that this actually became a hit. For both of these, the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, Indian Giver, and Pow Wow. Now, were they trying to play off of the popularity of Indian Reservation by the Raiders? This is not something you want to hear on the radio today. Michael Murphy, What's Forever For, and Crystal. I have this album, love them, been a Donnie Iris fan forever. The Rapper by the Jaggers, backed with Born Poor. And I have to admit, I've never seen a pink Kama Sutra label either. I've seen the blue one from the 70s and the yellow one from the 60s. This falls somewhere in between because this album came out in 1970. So that probably falls somewhere in between there. Another original classic from the Bee Gees, Run to Me and Road to Alaska. Leo Sayer, When I Need You, and I Think We Fell in Love Too Fast. I think I have one of these. I already had it, and I have it now. Got it from Dawn. Same with this. I already had it, but it's a great song. I'm All Right and Lead the Way from Kenny Loggins. Andy Gibb, Love is Thicker Than Water, and Words and Music. Again, have that already. Donna Summer, Bad Girls, and On My Honor. Have this too, but, you know, that's what happens. I do not have this one, and I wanted it, so I grabbed it with this set. Moonlight Feels Right, and Lash LaRue from Starbuck. I never knew they were on private stock, so that's interesting. It's the Same Old Song and Let's Go Party KC and the Sunshine Band. I do have a picture sleeve of this actually already also. 40 Miles of Bad Road and The Quiet 3 from Dwayne Eddy. I didn't even know this was available on 45 because it's from the 90s. So I'm glad to have this. Allison Road and Until I Fall Away from the Gin Blossoms. And yet another Target Practice copy of I Can Help by Billy Swan. So those are the 45s this week. And I have more 45s coming, of course. Just bought some more the other day. I have other stuff, I'm sure, in the future. And that's out of the box for this week. It is all over, but the final voting, we have reached the finals of the American Song Contest. The songs that will represent America at this first contest final will be on Monday night. You can start voting Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for any of the 10 songs that made it through to the finals. They are Alabama, Nico, their song The Difference, American Samoa, Tanel and Full Circle, Colorado, Riker Lynch and Feel the Love, Connecticut, Michael Bolton and Beautiful World, Kentucky, Jordan Smith and Sparrow, North Dakota, Chloe Fredericks and Can't Make You Love Me, Oklahoma, Alexa and Wonderland, Tennessee, Tyler Braden and 17, Texas, Grant Kanoki and Mr. Independent, and Washington State, Alan Stone, and a bit of both. One thing I did find out, or have figured out, is I talked about this on my live show, my live to tape show after the show on Monday, is that the judges' votes and the public votes do not seem to be meshing. The jury who votes through the top one every week have, on the semifinals, put through Tennessee, Tyler Braden, and Washington, Alan Stone, and neither one of them have much fan support. There's really no chance of either one of those songs winning. The fan support has been solidly all season long behind Alexa from Oklahoma with Wonderland, Beautiful World from Michael Bolton, Connecticut, and Jordan Smith's Beautiful Sparrow from Kentucky. They are the front runners, although Nico, Riker Lynch, Tanel, and Texas, Grant Gnocchi, could squeak in there. They have a lot of fan following. Now, it's important that we make this final a hit. I'm hoping they'll announce a second year of it on the finals. And of course, whoever wins Monday night will be in Turin, Italy next Saturday to perform during the interval at the 66th annual Eurovision Song Contest. Eurovision is the parent show of the American Song Contest. It is also the parent show of the upcoming Eurovision Canada, which will launch next year. In any case, Monday night, 8 p.m. the finals will run. You'll be able to vote till the end of the songs, and then they will figure out the winners before the end of the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, next week is the Eurovision Song Contest, and I have all kinds of special programming going on for it. Now, I was going to do a mini-series similar to what I did for the American Song Contest this week. I actually scrapped that midweek last week. I decided not to do that because Eurovision doesn't have as many songs. I can't play all the songs because the U.S. has copyright issues all over the place. So I will be presenting a Eurovision overview special, and it should be up either tomorrow or Monday, and I definitely hope you will check it out. In addition, I will be going live immediately after both semifinals and the finals next week. That's usually for Eurovision airs live in America, so it will air at 3 p.m. Eastern. It will go live right after the semifinals, which should be around 5:30 Eastern time for Tuesday and Thursday's semifinal 1 and 2, and around 7 to 7:30 on Saturday after the finals are over. Those will be going. Now, if you've never seen Eurovision, I invite you to check out the spectacle. There's a reason it has lasted for almost 70 years. It's fun. The music is sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes kitschy, sometimes downright hilarious. There's a lot of that this year, all the way around. And I urge you to check it out. It airs live in the U.S. at, as I said, 3 p.m. Eastern and 12 noon Pacific time on the Peacock streaming service, which is, of course, NBC's streaming service, and NBC is home of the Eurovision Song Contest. All kinds of corporate synergy going on there. You can also catch last year's Eurovision if you haven't seen it on Peacock. It was a great show. Hard to do because of the COVID thing, but they pulled it off and pulled it off well, considering what was going on and considering they had to cancel 2020. It's a lot of fun, but I urge you to check it out, and I will have my special up either Sunday or Monday, and the 3 live shows after each special next week. So please join the Kirkham Report for our complete, massive coverage of Eurovision, and check out the KirkhamReport.com. By Sunday, I will have my entire picks up. I'm so far behind because of stuff going on this week. I got to do like 30 write-ups in 2 days, but I will get them done, and they will be up before the show starts on Tuesday. You will be able to see my pick and why I picked each song and why I like each song. Not necessarily how they'll do, because Eurovision, of course, we can't vote in Eurovision. We were able to vote in Junior Eurovision 2 years ago, but we couldn't vote. We can't vote in Eurovision. It's limited, geo-limited to certain countries. So I give my picks and why I see things differently than the European fans, because European fans like stuff I don't like, and vice versa. But anyway, it'll be fun, and I hope you'll check it out at thekirkhamreport.com. And that's it for Contest Fever this week. A lot more news next weekend. In the bad pages this week, it's Mother's Day weekend. As I'm airing this, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 8th. It's a melancholy time for both Kim and I, my wife and I. I lost my mom, Joanne Kirkham, 4 years ago today, May 7th, 2018. I was in Ohio for the prior week where she was. I was not there when she passed, but that she had somebody with her. She was in a beautiful hospice, and they were great people taking good care of her. She was 85. It was time for her to go. She knew that. She was ready for the most part, and so I can't be terribly upset. She lived a long life, often fraught with stress and bringing up a single child and being both mom and dad. I got my love for music and my love for all kinds of stuff from her, and she was an amazing woman, and I do miss her very much. Tomorrow, as I said, is Mother's Day. Kim lost her mom, Patricia, in November of 2019. She was 80. She knew it was coming. It was ready. She was ready, and we miss her terribly. Kim definitely misses her terribly, and so does Kim's sister Joy. So it's a little melancholy, but we try to remember them in all the wonderful times we had when they were around, and all the great pride they had for us as their children. So to all of you out there celebrating Mother's Day, I hope you have a very good one. And to my mom, Joanne, and Kim's mom, Patricia, we miss you. We love you. Thank you.
About today, we're going to talk about the cost of the hobby.
Yep. It doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg and half your brain and your firstborn child.
We're not scalping. We're not
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
to drive the price up because of scarcity.
Right. That's our problem. We're too practical.
Yeah, I agree. Way too practical. Yeah, don't let my wife hear me say that. Be like, no, you're not. You're not practical enough.
Yeah. That's going to do it for this week's show. I'm going to have all the regular features back next week finally because Eurovision and everything is over. But let me run down everything because I got all kinds of crazy stuff going. We're going to have the Eurovision. It's a primer. For those of you who don't know what Eurovision is, I'm going to talk about the contest itself. We're going to run down the 40 artists and the songs and the countries, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. And it'll be up either Sunday or Monday before the contest airs. So definitely check it out. Monday, I will be up at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TKR with my pal Don for the premiere of episode 3 of Finding Your Music Mojo. We will be live in the chat during the show, so please come by at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Kirkham Report and join us for a chat and join us for watching the show. We hope that you'll have fun doing it. It's just kind of our advice for newcomers to the vinyl community and what you can be doing, what to look for. We talked a lot about turntables and cartridges this time, and a few other things, and we hope that you will enjoy that. Monday, I will be live. I won't be doing live on tape again. I will be live after the finals for American Song Contest after the songs, airing at 10:10 Eastern Time Monday, where we will run down the results of the finals of the American Song Contest and congratulate the winner. Lots of great stuff going on there. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I will be live after Eurovision's each episode with a rundown of the show and talking about everything. I will try to get Kim to join me for Saturday's show. I'm not sure whether that's going to happen or not, but we'll see. Tuesday and Thursday, it should air at around 5:30 Eastern Time, and Saturday around 7 to 7:30 Eastern Time. Eurovision is live to the East Coast at 3 p.m. Eastern, to the West Coast at noon Pacific Time, airing on the Peacock streaming network here in America. And so we'll be right after the shows are over. I will be up and running within 2 or 3 minutes to talk about the results of each show, what I think of them, whether I thought they were any surprises, and so on and so forth, whether my favorite songs got through or not. And on Saturday after the finals, each semi usually averages around 2 to 2.5 hours, and the finals usually averages around 4 hours. So around 7 to 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, I will be live again with my coverage of the finals and how it went. So I hope you will check it out in there. I will also be back with my regular shows this week. Influencers will be an all Hanson show on Tuesday. I'm going to be using Magic Box quite a bit because I can't get to the CDs, and I'll pull out the vinyl that I do have. We are going to be doing an off the charts. I will finally get around to talking about the Hot 100 and the charts and Robert Fithen's tirade from about a month ago. Although he had some great points, and I agree with quite a few of them, I want to explain how he was a little biased on it. And Rock and Review should return on Friday. Hopefully I'm going to have time to watch a few things I can talk about this week. And of course the Kirkham Report on Saturday, and we'll be doing a few new shows here and there along the way, and I hope that you will be tuning in to check them out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment for it, and be sure to be here every morning, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern for TC's Daily Obscuria. I just did a week of Eurovision stuff this week, and next week we'll be back to just average random hits and near hits and non-hits that you can listen to and tell me what you think. I'm always listening to those, and don't forget to check that out every morning at 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and that's always fun too. I hope you'll have a great week. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, and I hope that there will be a lot of you. I hope I'll convert a lot of you to Eurovision fans next week, and Hanson fans as well. That's all part of my gig. I promote what I like, and I can't help it, and, well, it's just who I am, right? You guys know that. I'm the pop guy. Everybody else is classic rock and heavy metal. I'm the pop dude. What can I say? For the Kirkham Report, I'm TC Kirkham. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.